I thought I had finally broken it. But the moment I tried to correct my temperament, went crazy always says. Only Donovan could. Driving a brat like you but. I know the truth. This man is with my madness. Before Donovan left for his journey of foreign business, I made sure he knew his priorities. Donovan, I sent the photo to your phone. Don't forget to buy it. Was the most recent release from my favorite brand. Not even sold yet in the US. MMH. I squinted at its uncompromising sound. You're not even listening to me, I heard you tone Van side. The sound of a man giving up, I will bring it back good. I smiled satisfied. Come back fast, he's gone for 2 weeks, I spent those 2 weeks stalking him. Donovan, when you come back I miss you so much. Bring my bag. After 30 minutes there was no response. I started filling it with angry emojis because you are so slow. You are making out with a foreign model. 10 minutes later, an answer appeared. His tone was resigned. Blair. Here it is 4 a.m. I stopped. Right as the schedule, so why are you awake? I wrote back, your messages woke me up. Increases the legal vacuum immediately. Is on the attack. That sounds like your problem. Why your phone is not on mute? Go back to sleep. I will keep sending messages, so mute your phone. It's okay, he didn't argue. Did not tell me to simply stop. Accepted it. He prioritized my noise over his dream. I continued writing. Nonstop, leaned over my chest. And read the chat history, shook his head. I still don't know how it puts up with you. I made fun, please, there was a line of guys waiting. Commit to me. Donovan was lucky, he should be celebrating. I am the daughter of the Wynn family, I have money, I have beauty. If I have a defect, is my temperament. But even with my attitude, the proposals of marriage were piled up like a mountain. Mom and Dad gave me the tablet. Take a look at it, Blair, someone catches your attention. Slide. Boring, ugly, boring. I stopped at Donovan, I like Donovan. Said Mom immediately. Deborah practically glowed as stable, reliable. Handsome, why not, he was the best choice, the richest. The most handsome. I thought of his usual attitude, silent, cold. Barely looking at me. I touched his face on the screen. That face that could rival with any movie star. Well, the marriage between the Shin families and Wynn was decided. But if someone was with it, probably was Donovan. For the sake of family interests, I had to tolerate my temperament. I was bossy, it was dramatic. Made demands. Impossible, he put up with everything. Sometimes he looked at it and thought, such a man could succeed in anything. It was not surprising that the group Ashin prospered under his command. His patience was terrifying. Donovan was a typical billionaire CEO. Handsome, rich, powerful. Naturally had female admirers. One day a message appeared on my phone. Blair, with a personality like yours, how long do you think Donovan will put up with you? I saw red. I went directly to Donovan's office in a rage. Was reviewing a presentation. I didn't care. I leaned over and closed his laptop in one fell swoop. Donovan lifted his eyes. It's a legible expression. I pushed the screen of my phone in his face. Tell me, how long can you tolerate me yourself? Donovan read the message, frowned, took out a pen, and wrote down the number. I will take care of it, hurry up. Was working. Only with adrenaline and sense of right. If you do not handle it well, the wedding is cancelled. I save you the problem of putting up with me. Donovan's frown deepened. Effect resolution. Was the daughter of one of my father's friends. Donovan reported. His voice was calm, lacking in emotion. His father asked me to give him an internship. In the group Shin, I fixed a stand. A pause, his gaze nailing to mine. Today I fired her as forbidden. Permanently the entrance to the Sheen group. I turned the pages, was ruthless and efficient. I also talked to his father. Donovan continued. I cut off his allowance for 3 months. Extended his phone. I had him record a video of. Watch it. If you are not satisfied, I will have it recorded again. By the miniature showed a Madison girl crying inconsolably. Her makeup was running off. She looked pathetic. I didn't even play. I deleted the message. Then I focused on the only thing that mattered. Where you got the video from? You have it on social networks. No. Donovan immediately opened your chat history and showed it to me. I had his father send it to me. I checked. The chat was distant, cold. Business angle. I was satisfied. Well, I'll let it go this time, but I lengthened the word between closing the eyes. But this is the last time. If something like this happens again, commitment is cancelled. Will not pass on. Your response was instant cutting. At the time I was so confident. How long Donovan could tolerate my temperament? Who cared? I could tolerate it or leave. I didn't care. Until I had a dream, a nightmare. A nightmare. Terrible, a massive and catastrophic nightmare. In the dream I was the villain of a soap opera. I was spoiled. Had a devoted fiancé, the second male protagonist. But he treated him as if he did not exist. But instead he pursued obsessively to the male protagonist. I destroyed the main couple's relationship. I followed a dark path. At the end, I got what I deserved. My family abandoned me. My friends turned their backs on me. My fiancé left me. Walked down the street with my soul mangled and alone. When a truck ran over me, my body suddenly woke up to the air. Conditioning was at everything, freezing the room, but I was on fire. The cold sweat soaked my forehead. My back would drop. I sat there for a long time gasping. That was really a dream. Was felt. The desperation of being abandoned is too real. Impact of the truck capable of breaking bones. It wasn't just a dream, it was a warning. A premonition. I did not refuse to allow that ending to become my reality. To hell with the male protagonist. Could go to hell. But my fiancé in the dream had pushed Donovan to his breaking point. To get out of the commitment, I saw his face clearly. Donovan looked at me with eyes lacking in icy warmth. I am very disappointed in you. Donovan had never looked at me like that before. Not once did the memory of that look. The mirror went through me. My heart shrinked. It was not a feeling. Abstract was a physical grip. A giant hand crushing my heart, squeezing. My mirror closed. I could not inhale trapped air. Burning lungs. I didn't know why the reaction was so violent. But I knew one thing. I couldn't stand Donovan looking at me like that. Basically, I could not survive. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. I spun around and around, looking at the ceiling until dawn with dark circles under his eyes. Under my eyes, I made a decision. I was going to change the page. I was going to fix this rotten temperament. I wouldn't let Donovan get used to me. I was going to save my own life. I acted immediately. Did not normally fill Donovan with messages by leaving the 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I didn't care if I was in a meeting or sleeping. If it responded slowly, I was throwing a tantrum. But today, I forced my hand to stop. My fingers were itching. I stared at the screen. I calmed down. It's okay, it's okay. Donovan's back in a few days anyway. I held on until night fell. I thought it has spent most of the day sending 1 or 2 messages. It is true. Could not be bothered by just a few messages. Just when my determination collapsed and was about to write, a message appeared. Donovan. I was usually shocked. I was the one who bombed him. He rarely started. And when I did, it was short. Donovan, your phone is damaged. Blair ? Blair. No, Donovan did not come out. His message was strange. No context, just a question. But I did not give him long turns. My thumbs went into autopilot to touch send. Before I knew it, I hated an avalanche of messages and looked at the screen. Was a bubble wall. Blew my messages, only my messages. Repentance flooded me immediately. Blair, you have zero self-control. Why couldn't you just call? Donovan took almost 20 minutes to respond. Sorry, emergency meeting. I did not have time to respond. If this had been before, it would have exploded. Would have dissected. That excuse and found the way to do it. Your fault. But not today. I was desperate for showing my new benevolence. I was the fiancé. Understanding. Blair, oh, totally good. Respond when you have time. I waited and waited. Donovan did not die. My fiancé character. Understanding died a quick and violent death. My internal monologue screamed. Seriously, Donovan, another emergency meeting. You only have meetings. The second I start talking on the phone. Vibrated incoming video call. Donovan, I responded. Mister. I was already fixed in his place that Donovan could not find. Immediately, the camera lens focused on his eyes were dark. Intense. I wasn't looking at my face, I was scanning. His gaze passed over my shoulder. Walked the wall. Behind me, the empty space on the sofa. Shadows in the corner of the room. I was checking the perimeter. You are alone. His voice was rough bass. Yes. I obviously frowned, with fused by the intensity of his gaze. Why, you asked? I didn't understand. I just kept looking. Checked the background. Again, only when it was absolutely. I am sure that there was no one else in my territory. Their shoulders relaxed. I have something to say, he said, unless there is an emergency. Continues. I reply, the second I see your message, I made fun of you. Words are carried away by the wind. I didn't believe him for a second. I don't want to talk anymore. You are fired. I didn't wait for your reaction. I clicked. I hung up. I hung up. The screen went black. My heart was pounding, not with anger, but with panic. I had just hung up on Donovan Shin, the man who held the fate of 2 corporate empires in his hands, and more importantly, the man I had sworn to treat better just 12 hours ago. Idiot. I whispered to the empty room. You were supposed to be the understanding fiancé, the one who doesn't throw tantrums. But old habits die hard. And my temper wasn't just a habit. It was a reflex, honed by years of getting exactly what I wanted. I threw my phone onto the plush duvet and paced the room. The nightmare flashed in my mind again. The cold street, the truck, Donovan's disappointed eyes. I'm very disappointed in you. No, I said aloud. Not happening. I retrieved my phone. No new messages. No call back. My thumb hovered over his name. Should I apologize? Apologizing was foreign territory. It tasted like lemon juice and defeat. Instead, I opened my social media. At Blairwin. Men who prioritize meetings over their fiancés deserve to sleep in the office. I deleted it before posting. Progress? Maybe. 2 days passed. Silence from Donovan. This was new. Usually, if I threw a tantrum, he'd send a gift, or at least a text acknowledging my existence. But now? Nothing. My anxiety spiked. Had I pushed him too far? Was he finally realizing that a life without Blairwin was peaceful, quiet, and devoid of drama? I couldn't let that happen. On the 3rd day, I decided to take action. If he wouldn't come to me, I'd go to him. Or rather, I'd make sure he had a reason to come back faster. I called his assistant, Ms. Lee. Blair. Ms. Lee sounded terrified. Mr. Shin is in a conference. He said no interruptions. I don't care about his conference, I said sweetly. I need to know his flight number. I'm planning a surprise pickup. Oh, relief washed over her voice. He lands tomorrow at 6 p.m. Flight KA802. Perfect. Don't tell him. I hung up and looked at my reflection. Dark circles were gone. My skin was glowing. I was going to be the perfect, loving fiancé waiting at the gate. I would smile. I would hug him. I wouldn't mention the hung-up call. I was going to gaslight him with kindness. The airport was crowded, but VIP arrival was manageable. I wore a dress that cost more than a mid-sized sedan and heels that defied physics. I held a small sign that said welcome home, hubby, a little premature, but effective. The doors opened. Passengers trickled out. And then I saw him. Donovan Shin. Even in a rumpled travel suit, he looked like he owned the building. He was walking briskly, checking his watch. His face set in that permanent scowl I found weirdly attractive. But he wasn't alone. Walking next to him, laughing at something he said, was a woman. She was tall, blonde, and impeccably dressed in a business suit that screamed competent. She touched his arm. Donovan didn't pull away. The red haze descended instantly. My perfect fiancé script incinerated. I marched forward, my heels clicking like gunfire on the marble floor. Donovan! I shouted. He looked up. His eyes widened, genuine surprise breaking his stoic mask. Blair. The blonde woman stopped, looking at me with polite confusion. Oh, is this? Who is she? I demanded, stopping 3 feet away. I didn't hug him. I pointed the welcome home sign at the woman like a weapon. Donovan sighed. The sound of a man who knew peace was over. Blair, this is Elena. She's the regional director for the European branch. She's here for the quarterly review. Regional director. I repeated, scanning her face. She was pretty. Too pretty. And she had touched his arm. Why was she touching you? I tripped, Elena said quickly, her eyes darting between us. My heel caught on the carpet. Likely story. I snapped. Blair. Donovan's voice was a warning. Low, dangerous. I looked at him. In the nightmare, this was the moment he would walk away. This was the moment he would realize I was too much work. I froze. The anger evaporated, replaced by cold dread. I'm doing it again. I took a deep breath. I forced my shoulders to drop. I forced a smile that felt like it might crack my face. Oh, I said, my voice rising an octave. I see. Well, welcome to the US, Elena. It's lovely to meet you. Both Donovan and Elena stared at me. Donovan looked more terrified of this version of me than the angry one. Are you okay? Donovan asked, stepping closer. He put a hand on my forehead. You look different. I missed you, I said, grabbing his hand and pulling it down to squeeze it. I brought the car. Let's drop Elena off at her hotel, shall we? Donovan narrowed his eyes. He knew me. He knew I was plotting something. But he nodded slowly. Okay. We dropped Elena off. The car ride was silent. When we got to his penthouse, Donovan dropped his bags and loosened his tie. He looked exhausted. Blair, he started, turning to me. About the phone call. I'm sorry, I blurted out. Donovan stopped mid-motion. He blinked. What? I said I'm sorry, I repeated, wringing my hands. I shouldn't have hung up on you. I know you were working. I was being unreasonable. Donovan stared at me for a full minute. He walked over, sat on the sofa, and pulled me down next to him. He studied my face like it was a complex contract. Who are you? He asked softly. And what have you done with Blair? I'm serious. I insisted. I had a realization. I want to be better. For us. Donovan leaned back, running a hand through his dark hair. A ghost of a smile touched his lips. You had a realization? Yes. Stop looking at me like I'm an alien. It's just hard to process, he admitted. Usually this is the part where you throw a vase. I can still throw a vase if you want, I threatened. No, please. The vases are expensive. He reached out and tucked a strand of hair behind my ear. His fingers lingered on my cheek. You don't have to change, Blair. I know who you are. But I do, I whispered. You'll get tired of me. I haven't yet, he said simply. You will. Try me. He leaned in and kissed me. It wasn't the polite peck of a business arrangement. It was deep, possessive, and hungry. It tasted like coffee and jet lag and something else. Desperation? When he pulled back, his eyes were dark again. Did you really miss me? He asked. I stalked you for 2 weeks. What do you think? He chuckled. Good. Because I missed you too. The quiet was unnerving. I smiled, feeling safe. But the universe has a funny way of testing resolve. The next day the news broke. Shin Group CEO in secret affair? The photo was grainy. It was taken at the airport in Europe. Donovan and Elena, standing close. From the angle, it looked like they were kissing. My phone exploded with notifications. My mother called 3 times. I stared at the photo. I knew it was fake. I knew the angle was misleading. But the old Blair? The old Blair was screaming inside my head, demanding blood. Don't do it, I told myself. Trust him. I went to his office. I didn't barge in. I knocked. Donovan looked up when I entered. He looked pale. He had seen the news. Blair. He stood up immediately. It's not what it looks like. The camera angle. I know, I interrupted. He stopped. You know? I know angles, I said, walking over to his desk. And I know you. If you were going to cheat, you wouldn't do it in public where paparazzi could see you. You're too smart for that. Donovan looked like I had just spoken fluent Latin. You trust me? He asked, his voice quiet. I do, I said. Then I slammed a printed copy of the article on his desk. But I don't trust whoever took this picture. Someone is trying to sabotage you, Donovan. Or us. His eyes hardened. The CEO mask slipped back into place. You think it's targeted? The headline mentions the Winshin merger being in jeopardy, I pointed out. Whoever leaked this wants our families to fight. They want the wedding cancelled. Donovan picked up the paper. My uncle, he muttered. He's been trying to get a seat on the board for months. He opposed the merger. Well, I grinned, a vicious, sharp thing. Let's give him a show. We concocted a plan. If they wanted a scandal, we'd give them a romance novel. We scheduled a press conference. Not to deny the rumors, but to announce the wedding date. We walked in hand. I wore a white dress. Donovan vora mechintie. We looked like the top of a wedding cake. Mr. Shin. A reporter shouted. What about the photos with Ms. Elena? Donovan stepped up to the mic. He looked at me, then at the crowd. Ms. Elena is a valued employee, he said smoothly. But there is only one woman who holds my attention. And frankly, she takes up so much of my energy. I don't have time for anyone else. The crowd laughed. I actually blushed. We are moving the wedding up, Donovan announced. Next month. My head snapped toward him. Next month? That wasn't in the script. He squeezed my hand. Trust me. After the conference, in the limo, I turned to him. Next month? Are you insane? My mother needs 6 months minimum to plan the flowers alone. We need to lock it down, Donovan said, loosening his tie. My uncle is making moves. Once we're married, our shares combine. He can't touch us. So it is a business decision, I said, feeling a pinch of disappointment. Donovan looked at me. Blair, the business is the shield. You are the reason. I'm not losing you to some corporate scheme. He pulled me into his lap. The partition was up. The driver couldn't see. Also, he whispered against my neck, I'm tired of waiting. My heart did a traitorous flip. The next month was chaos. Fittings, tustings, seating charts. My temper flared a few times, mostly at the florist who tried to suggest carnations. But I reined it in. I was doing well. Until the rehearsal dinner. Donovan's uncle, Uncle Marcus, approached me. He was a slippery man with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. Blair, he said, holding a glass of scotch. Lovely dress. Shame about Donovan though. Excuse me? I asked, sipping my water. Oh, you don't know? He leaned in, lowering his voice. The only reason he's rushing this wedding isn't love, my dear. It's debt. The Shin Group is in trouble. He needs your dowry to bail out the European division. The world tilted. Debt. Bailout? Donovan had never mentioned financial trouble. You're lying, I said. Ask him, Marcus shrugged. Ask him about the loan he took out last week. I found Donovan on the balcony. He was smoking, a habit he only indulged when stressed. Donovan, I said. He turned, flicking the cigarette away. Hey, you okay? Uncle Marcus bothering you? Is the company in debt? I asked directly. His face closed off. Where did you hear that? Is it true? It's complicated, he said. We have a liquidity issue. It's temporary. Once the merger goes through. So you do need my money. I stepped back. The nightmare came rushing back. The feeling of being used. Of being a means to an end. Blair, no. That's not why. You lied to me. I shouted. You let me believe this was about us. About protecting us. But it was just about the bottom line. It's both. Donovan stepped forward, grabbing my arms. I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to worry. I can handle it. I'm not a child you need to manage. I shook him off. I am your partner. Or I thought I was. I turned and ran. I didn't look back. I got in my car and drove to my parents' house. I spent the night crying. My mother tried to comfort me, but she was more concerned about the wedding cancellation fees. Blair, men keep secrets, she said. It's what they do. He's still a good match. I don't want a match. I screamed. I want a husband who respects me. I left the house early the next morning. I needed to clear my head. I walked down the busy street, ignoring the buzzing of my phone. 50 missed calls from Donovan. I was crossing the intersection, staring at the walking man signal. In the dream, I was walking down the street, alone. The thought hit me like ice water. I looked up. A delivery truck was turning the corner. It was going too fast. The driver was looking at his phone. He didn't see the red light. He didn't see me. I froze. It was happening. The nightmare. The prophecy. I closed my eyes and braced for impact. Screech. A hand grabbed the back of my coat and yanked me backward with violent force. I flew back, hitting a hard chest. The truck roared past, the wind from its passage whipping my hair. It missed me by inches. I looked up, gasping. Donovan. He was pale, breathing hard, his eyes wide with terror. He gripped my shoulders so hard it hurt. You. He choked out. You idiot. Look where you're going. He pulled me into a hug, crushing me against him. I could feel his heart hammering against my ribs. He was shaking. I thought I lost you, he whispered into my hair. I saw you. I saw the truck. I started crying. Not angry tears, but relief. You saved me, I sobbed. The dream, you changed the ending. What dream? He asked, pulling back to look at my face. What are you talking about? Nothing. I wiped my eyes. Just you're here. I tracked your phone, he admitted. I was coming to explain. Blair, the debt is real. But I would marry you if we were both broke and living in a cardboard box. I didn't tell you because I was ashamed. I wanted to be the hero who had it all together. You are a hero, I said, looking at the skid marks on the road. But you're also an idiot. I know, he smiled weakly. I'm with you, aren't I? Epilogue, the tantrum queen. The wedding happened. It was perfect. I didn't yell at anyone, not even when the caterer forgot the vegan options. 6 months later, the Shin Group was thriving. The merger was a success. Uncle Marcus was forced into early retirement. I sat in Donovan's office, spinning in his chair while he worked. Donovan, I said. He didn't look up from his laptop. I want a puppy. He stopped typing. Blair, we live in a penthouse. Who is going to walk it? You are. I am running a conglomerate. So, multitask. He sighed, that familiar sound of resignation. But when he looked up, his eyes were warm. Fini. What kind? A golden retriever. Named Taco. Taco, he repeated. The dog of a billionaire CEO will be named Taco. Yes. Or I'll divorce you. He laughed, standing up and walking over to kiss me. You're impossible. I know. I smiled against his lips. But you love it. Unfortunately, he murmured. I really do. I looked out the window at the city below. The nightmare was gone. I wasn't the villain anymore. I was the main character. And the hero? He was wrapped around my finger, right where he belonged.